Good day and welcome to MSUA's Game Changers Live, where we speak with satellite and mobile connectivity thought leaders about industry trends and talk about what is coming down the line for the future of satellite mobile communications. I am your host, Lisa Dreher, and I'm really excited to introduce our guest for today, Silvano Payne. He is the CEO of Satnews Publishers and leads the upcoming Small Sat Symposium that is happening at the Computer History Museum in Mountain View, California, February 6th through the 8th. And by the way, before we get started, I have to put a plug in there that MSUA members receive a 20% discount on their registrations. So if you want to get that discount, be sure to become an MSUA member if you are not already. And welcome to Silvano Payne, and who is also a judge for the upcoming MSUA Satellite Mobile Innovation Awards for 2024. So welcome to the show today, Silvano.
Thank you, Lisa.
Absolutely.
Nice to be back.
Sorry, what was that?
Nice to be back. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. We are so happy to have you back. So today we really want to talk about the Small Sat Symposium and talk about what attendees or potential attendees can expect at this year's event. So maybe you can give us a short overview of just what is the Small Sat Symposium?
Small Sat Symposium is really a look at the business and finance of small sats. We think that the University of Utah does a wonderful job every August in looking at the technical side of small sats. And so we decided to concentrate more on business and finance. So we have a 2.5, almost 3-day conference where we have multiple people talking. In fact, I think we have 120 speakers this year talking about various facets which relate to the running of a small sat business. So essentially, the content will be very similar to other years, or the content presentation, in that we cover many of the same areas because those areas don't change in any specific industry. But we obviously have looked for many new faces, and this year we've been very successful, have managed to get about 30 to 40 new speakers that we've never had before that are very well qualified. This is a young industry. It's moving at a very fast pace, and it's tough to keep up, but we try.
Excellent, excellent. So what can we expect this year? It sounds like lots of new speakers. What are we looking at?
You're looking at changes in what's happening within the industry. How is the industry growing? What changes have happened to technology from a business perspective? We're looking at we have 2 keynote speakers actually this year. One is from the Commerce Department, which is Dr. Richard DeBello, and one is from NASA, Dr. Dave Korsmeier. And you'll notice 2 government-oriented keynote speakers, which is different for us. The reason for this is that you'll see tremendous amount of government interest, not just military, but government interest in the small sat industry. I think it reflects a maturing market, and it reflects one that has tremendous area for growth. It looks like the growth is coming. There was tremendous growth for maybe the first 10, 15 years of our show. And then, this will be our 9th show, the first 6, 7 years maybe. And then there was a little slowdown. COVID didn't help much. But the industry seems to be back into a fast trend.
Got it. Got it. So what are some of the key trends that are influencing the direction of the content for Small Sat Symposium this year?
You know, the main thing was the change in the financial environment, I think. There has been a tremendous change in the financial environment. Last year was not a good year for the small sat industry. But this year, or towards the end of last year, it started to really pick up, and it looks, by the interest that we're getting, we have a record number of exhibitors and sponsors which shows to us that people are really interested. This industry is back, and back with a vengeance. You see the growth of the interest in multiple constellations. Constellations are huge eaters up of the technology. They require tremendous amounts of technological innovation, and we see that happening all over the industry. So,
Yeah, sure. So, what are some of the main sessions that people can expect to attend?
well, if you go to our website and look at the agenda, you'll see that there are 21 different sessions. So, things, I'll read some of them to you. Small sat summary. What was the outcome of WRC? There was a big conference in Switzerland. What happened? It really affected our industry. What are the trends from last year? That's another one. What does the market hold? Where is the market going? We're looking at funding. How has funding changed, and who are the new players? Where do you get money to run your business? We're looking at Earth observation. How has that changed, and what uses are being made with the government and the military with that? We're looking at cloud utilization. How do cloud operations operate with small satellites? Looking at the optical comms market, there's been a tremendous growth in optical comms, where satellites are now communicating with each other, and the military are very, very interested in that area, as is the government. Looking at the changes on the ground. As all of this is happening in the air, it's requiring a completely different terrestrial network structure, and there have been multiple changes in that area. In terms of national security, where do small sats fit in? What is their place in national security? In terms of direct to a consumer, we've heard various murmurs about a few people providing emergency services, but what's the technology that's involved? Who are the players? And what are the regulations and rules and spectrum requirements for that direct from satellite to your cell phone? Again, another look at finance would be mergers and acquisitions. What's happening? Who's buying who? Who's eating who?
Yeah.
Always interesting. The launch industry has undergone tremendous changes. Obviously, there's one very large provider, but there are multiple other smaller providers that have actually been very successful and are continuing to be successful, and more people entries into that market, which is an interesting one. We look at the electronics that are enabling the change within the small sat industry. What changes are there to microelectronics, and how is that affecting the construction of satellites, small satellites? A big problem in the industry has been debris. How people dealing with orbital debris, and so situational awareness, debris is another interesting area. Small sat manufacturing has changed. There are multiple people making multiple large constellations of satellites. How are they doing it? Who's making the buses? Who are making the internal parts of all of these satellites? And then we look at spectrum. There's so much spectrum up there, and who's using it and who's battling for it in the low Earth orbit, because that's where most of this activity is. So you can see it's quite an interesting conference.
Oh my gosh, it sounds absolutely amazing. And I just can't even imagine how you are going to cover all of those topics in just a few days.
You don't have much time to cover everything, but really what you have time for is a presentation of the major happenings, a 45-minute presentation by a number of really well-known people. But what happens after that is that if your interest happens to be, let's say, in spectrum, You've seen a panel talk about it. You've heard other people talk about it. We do free lunches. We do a lot of evening activities. It gives people a lot of opportunity to talk to one another. And to me, this is the greatest benefit of our show, is that we really encourage. We have free food. We have lots of drinks. We have not alcohol entirely, but there is some. But we have a lot of opportunities created in a very large area where people can get together at tables and talk. And there's so many new connections that are formed at each of our conferences that lead to so much new product, that lead to so many new partnerships, that that's the most astounding thing for me, is that this is a place to meet and greet with senior executives who are doing similar work to you and complementary work to you. So that's the major benefit to me.
Excellent. Well, it sounds like an absolutely spectacular event. What should people do if they would like to learn more about the event and register to attend?
Yeah, well, go to our website. If you type smallsat Silicon Valley, you'll get to it. But the actual address is 2024 smallsatshow.com. But
Okay.
if you type smallsat and you type Silicon Valley or Mountain View, you'll be able to find us for sure.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, Silvano, I want to thank you so much for being here today with us to give us an overview of what is happening at the upcoming SmallSat Symposium. And just as a reminder, that is in Mountain View, California. It's being held at the Computer History Museum. And that is February 6th through 8th. So it's just a little bit under a month away right now.
Yeah, about 3 weeks away. And you can get a MSUA discount. Just read your MSUA newsletter, and there's a link to us right there, in fact.
Absolutely, yes. So for MSUA members, be sure to visit the members portal that is available on our website at msua.org, and that is where you can get your discount code and register for the event. So 20% off for our MSUA members. And I do want to take just a moment to mention the upcoming Satellite Mobile Innovation Awards program for 2024. Silvano is one of our judges this year. To learn more about the awards program and how to nominate solutions and initiatives for these amazing awards for 2024, visit msua.org. You can also learn about our weekly newsletter, as well as how to become a member of the Mobile Satellite Users Association at msua.org. And for now, we'll see you next time on MSUA's Game Changers Live.
Thanks, Lisa.
Absolutely.